Hello, everybody, and welcome in to Winter is Blooming, a Game of Thrones rewatch podcast by us, the Penny Bloom Podcast. We continue this week with the penultimate episode of the entire series, the penultimate of the whole shebang. Season 8, Episode 5, The Bells. Written by D&D, who I will never forgive. Directed by Miguel Sapochnik. I'm Colton Robertson, and I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
What's up? Is it a pleasure to be here?
Fuck no, it's not.
I
This
don't know.
blows.
Yeah.
Dude, okay. I'm gonna air it out. Let's fucking do this thing. Okay, so if you listen to like the very first episode of the show, the very first episode of the Penny Bloom podcast came out a week after the series finale. Came out a week after Game of Thrones ended. Sorry, I said series finale, and Siri thought I was talking to her.
Mm-hmm.
I was incredibly forgiving. I was in denial about the show I'd spent so much time on being good when it's not. I gave D&D a great deal of the benefit of a doubt. I was like, it's impossible. It's so hard. How do you wrap up a show like this? Is that? Yeah, okay, sure. It is hard. But fuck's sake, how do you tank it? How do you fucking tank it? How do you just you don't even just kind of miss the mark. You literally are shooting on a whole other fucking thing. This is fucking bad. And we've been building up to this for the entire show. You know, we've been talking about how we're like, oh, it's kind of inevitable. She keeps talking about it. She keeps seeming like that's going to be the way she goes. Oh, well, maybe it's not that big of a shock. And when it comes around, it feels terrible. It feels fucking awful. And not in a way that's like, oh, I'm so disappointed she did that. In a way that's not good.
Yeah. No, it's there's logic holes and stuff like that. It's one thing that you can poke through, like writing or like military strategy and whatever. Like that's one thing, but like there's just actual clear writing errors or like just it seems that they actually set out to make the worst ending that they could. Like to make the most amount of people upset that they could. It's maybe their whole subverting expectations thing is you expect the greatest show of all time to have the greatest ending of all time. Psych will give you the worst ending kind of
Here's
that
the
you could have
thing.
asked for.
I like the fallen angel arc. I love that trope. Love it. Big on Anakin Skywalker. Loving Paul Atreides at the moment. I don't love them. You know, I
Yeah.
don't love them as characters, but I love the arc they go on. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Daenerys Targaryen is a fucking perfect candidate for a fallen angel arc. I think that makes so much sense. It's not the fact that she breaks bad. It's the fact that they don't know how to fucking handle it. And I'd never really realized that they don't know how to fucking handle it. It's so bad. It's so bad. So,
Yeah, and I was one of the mind too of being a little more forgiving, and wanted to have an open mind coming into season 8, and be
oh, I
like
did too. I
maybe,
thought we were building to it hard.
and it
You know,
started off okay, 1 through 3, we
it's
had
solid. I like.
there's some rougher patches as far as Thrones is considered, but like still great television. Like we're still it's okay. The pacing's not wrong yet. The everything's just kind of cooking still.
Mm.
Um and
And
then
I
like
remember the general perception. See, when this was going on, episodes 1 through 3 happened, and everyone was like, "Okay, okay," but how the fuck?
mhm
How the fuck do we have episodes left? You know, like,
mhm
what are we gonna do here? That was basically everyone's biggest gripe with the first 3 episodes, aside from a lot of people were dissatisfied with the White Walkers conclusion and how it was one and done. That's it. I'm not really concerned about that. I would have preferred
drawn
a
out
bigger
sort
battle,
of thing.
but
Yeah.
this is a really good example of something they were capable of doing in 3 episodes, though. Like
Yeah.
the Battle of Winterfell arc, like the first 3 episodes of the season are really, really well like they go together well. They make sense. Everything that comes one after the other is good, is solid. It's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. We're 2 in a row now where I'm like, oh my fucking god, can y'all get a fucking handle on this thing? Holy shit. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad. Um,
Yeah.
I've never felt that way either. Like I've watched this show several times. I think this is my third watch through all the way through. I think
Mhm.
uh, maybe my fourth. I think it's my fourth. Correction. Um, once when it was on, once a year later, once with Emily, and now this one. So
Mhm.
here we are.
Okay.
But I've literally never been so viscerally angry at the episode and at the ending of this show.
Yeah.
And we're talking like one a year since this has ended, like the amount I've watched it. It's like 2019, 2020, 2021. We started this in 2022 through 2024. So like that's kind of how I've watched the show. I've never felt this bad about it. So I want to make it clear that I'm not just riding the fucking hate train that everyone has had. I've just seen the fucking light, you
Yeah.
know?
I think
Uh,
I think on this watch more than anything, we have gone into the deepest detail that you can pretty much go. Like there's not much more that you can get into unless you want to start talking about the differences between the show and the book. But then that's just kind of different subject. But as far as the
yeah.
TV show is concerned, we have done the deepest dive you can. And the fact that we are both feeling this way, like we are loving critics. We give things very, very good scores, even like when they're not the best. But like this, like, and I hate even feeling angry in general. I hate feeling like it's just I hate being mad, and I don't like to be mad. And
Mm.
this is why would a TV show, which is entertainment, in the first place, and or art, whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's to invoke emotion, I guess. Yeah, but it's not the emotion I want. It's
No.
not what I want to spend a year on, talking in such detail, and then just to get here and then be kind of like it felt like I literally got shit on. Like I mean like it's just like they wanted to piss people off. Like I guess we haven't even got maybe we just get there. We'll let the moments, kind of
Yeah.
we'll get
We'll lay
there
it
and
all
then
out.
we'll
Lay it
say
all
what's
out.
bad about it so I don't just run in and just kind
We'll
of
dive in.
shit on
We'll dive
everything.
in.
But
We'll start
eesh.
in Dragonstone.
Yeah.
Where Varys is writing letters pertaining to the truth about Jon Snow's heritage. When one of his spies walks in and tells Varys that Daenerys has not eaten anything in days. And Varys is like, oh, we'll try again at supper, meaning we will try again to poison her at supper. Um, and, Martha tells Varys that Daenerys' soldiers are constantly on alert. And Varys assures her that the higher the risk, the greater the reward, and she is sent back to the kitchen as Varys gets word of the arrival of Jon and his men. And when Jon arrives, he briefs Varys on the Northern Army's progress. Jon asks how Daenerys is doing, with Varys responding that she is refusing to eat or leave her chambers. And Jon replies that Daenerys shouldn't be alone. And Varys admires that Jon is worried for her. And when Jon asks Varys if he isn't worried as well, Varys says he's worried for them all and speaks of Daenerys' mental state. They say that when a Targaryen is born, the gods flip a coin.
Mm,
Varys says that he knows not what side Daenerys' coin will land on, but that he is pretty sure of the side Jon's already did.
yeah.
Um,
I gave Varys the character nod last episode. Um
hmm,
and usually on send off for a death of a character, it does feel right to slot them in. Um but I ended I'll just go with this line for him. I kind of wanted to go a different route with character. This episode that I don't know why it never hit me before, but it did, and I was like, wow, cool part of the episode actually. The one kind of
hmm.
gleaming light for me, I guess.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I don't know. We'll say goodbye to him soon, so I'll give him one last line, and at least it's I don't know. I do like this. Had a theory on that this man might have been a Targaryen. Maybe the coin was
Hmm.
flipped on him, and this is why he has to shave all of his hair. Um, Well, if he was a Targaryen, he's at least not a dragon. That's confirmed. This
That's
episode,
true.
he burn, he go bye bye. So, but yeah, I do. I'll give him the line here for
Mhm.
this, but yeah,
There's
it's
also
starting off
eh,
just saying good, but like
no,
starting the
yeah, like
episode off like this is
terrible for
just
the first time, like, "Oh, okay, we're 10 minutes in and Varys is dead. That's cool." But,
like, oh
this
man,
is a revelation for Jon as well that Sansa clearly could not keep her mouth shut.
yep, yeah,
He's learning that,
he
okay,
knew,
well,
yeah. Arya obviously has been with no, she's just hasn't been seen. She's been with the Hound traveling to King's Landing on their own before
mm,
everyone else. So obviously, yeah, it came from Sansa whenever they were making their promise to keep their word. Arya like, yes, no, I swear, I promise. And you have Sansa being like, I promise. Like kind of, she was like, yeah, I'll say it out loud, but like, I don't really know. Um, yeah, this I don't know. I do kind of like the parallel of Ned writing the scroll of
Joffrey.
Robert's bastard, Sir blah blah blah, all of this, and then now it's Varys is kind of getting killed for the same thing, kind of a similar Ned Stark kind of thing without all of the I don't know public parts, that happened and everything, to make it all crazy and everything. But yeah, it was, I don't know. Varys is kind of one of my favorite characters there is in the show. Just he loves the politics, he loves the philosophy. So I don't know. It is just sad because I know coming in that this man is not lasting much longer, and that I don't know. That is just a sad thought. But
Well,
yeah.
it's a vicious cycle too, you know? He, he's like, "I hope I'm wrong," you know? I do. I hope that I'm wrong. But he's not wrong. But is he not wrong because he's chosen to do these things? Are these
Mm.
things leading her down that path? Should he not have done that, and would she not have gone down that path? Like those sorts of things, and I'm of the mind that it probably didn't matter, but, this is what indicates to her that Jon Snow betrayed her. This is what indicates to her that she is truly alone in the world. Um, so, there's all sorts of stuff that could have been avoided
Mm.
if people didn't people minded their business a little bit. But, I can't blame them though. I can't blame them. It's reasonable concerns.
Yeah.
Uh,
Varys is concerned with the realm and who just is
mm,
the better leader. And at this time, yeah,
yeah,
Daenerys, you had your time. She's been through her prime a little bit though. She's past it. Um, in the
yeah.
current, at
Varys
least in
says
the
that
current state of
he's.
life. But
Mm, but yeah, Varys says that he's advised more kings and rulers than anybody alive, and he knows how Daenerys will end up, given everything he has seen. And Jon is still opposed to the idea, saying that Daenerys is his queen now and forever. Tyrion meets with Daenerys in the Dragonstone's war room, where she has been isolated for days, having become paranoid. She surmises that someone has betrayed her, and her hand confirms this. And when Daenerys names the traitor Jon Snow, Tyrion, however, reveals, like, no, it was Varys. And Daenerys confirms that the Master of Whisperers knows the truth about Jon. She tells Tyrion that he told Varys, "You learned from Sansa, and she learned from Jon, though I begged him not to tell her. So, Jon betrayed me." Um, and Tyrion says that, he needs to be aware of this information so that he and Varys can be prepared for anything. But Daenerys is suspicious of Sansa's motives for telling Tyrion. And the dwarf admits it was a mistake to tell Varys without Daenerys' permission, and Sansa told Tyrion because she trusts him. And Daenerys responds, "She trusted you to spread secrets that could destroy your queen, and you did not let her down." And Tyrion asks for forgiveness, saying that they want the battle she wants and their intentions were good. And he says, "Varys as much as anyone." And he takes a long pause and looks at Daenerys and goes, "But it doesn't matter now." And Daenerys replies, "No, it doesn't matter now." A classic D&D line formatting. I don't know if you caught it again.
mm, That's
Doesn't matter now. No, it doesn't matter now. They love that. They
mm,
love falling back on that.
yep.
It's one of their favorite things to do.
Let's just
Which I
repeat
don't mind. It's just a quirk of their writing. I've noticed. Like it doesn't get abused in this episode like it did a few
that one.
episodes
Yeah,
back.
I
Right
remember
on.
that.
Yeah, like it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's fine. Um,
yeah, no, but man, seeing this like ruined version of Daenerys, like just staring out, just to, she's just done. Like absolutely, I don't know. Like this, I don't know. That's why I think the performance is kind of clear this episode, even though I hate what her character does. Um, Completely with every bone in my body. I hate what her character does. Emilia Clarke still puts on one hell of a show. She
oh yeah, she's
plays,
the
yeah.
performance undoubtedly.
Yeah, it's
And
like
this is one of those scenes that's just like the reason why.
the camera just on her face for like 10
Mhm.
sec or it wasn't 10 seconds, but like it kind of felt like it. Like it felt like we were just there for a
Sitting
while
with the
and like
way
just
she
she was
feels. Yeah.
just no emotion, or just nothing. Like everything's just over. Um Yeah, it was. I don't know. Emilia Clarke. At least if the writing is whatever, and we can harp on what we wanted to happen all day, but Emilia Clarke showed up and she did her job.
She elevated
Um,
Ariel like crazy, man. If she was a lesser actress, this could have been even
mhm,
worse. Yeah. Uh,
yeah,
she's the saving grace of this storyline. So I love Emilia Clarke. So she had to get the what is probably her last performance. Not, I don't know. Maybe next week she gets it, but we'll
yeah.
see.
A double
But
then. Okay. Yeah, that puts her up to
what's that move or two?
19. Still one behind Lena Headey. Lena Headey's still the queen at 20. Holy shit! Wow.
She's not gonna get any more. So if next week, if
Oh
Amelia Clark gets it in, she could
man.
she could be she could come up on behind her, and she
Oh.
might get it. She's that good. So we'll see. But without
Huh.
resistance, Varys is taken after having wrote letters. When he hears the approach of the guards, he burns them. Uh, Grey Worm arrives with shackles in hand, and Varys knows what is about to occur. So he goes to the shores of Dragonstone, where Daenerys, Jon, and Tyrion are waiting. And Tyrion approaches Varys to let him know it was me. And Varys understands, and he states that he hopes he is wrong. He truly does. And he bids one more farewell. Goodbye, my friend. And Tyrion puts his hand on his arm, and Varys is kind of shocked by the touch of it all, and is like, I think it's a last moment where he realizes Tyrion was like his only friend,
Yeah.
really, and this is the kind of thing that royalty does to friends, like it's like
Damn.
it's
Yeah, like
gotta
Littlefinger
do what
was
you gotta
like the
do.
closest thing he had to a friend before, but it was way more of an enemy, like than anything. And
Frenemies for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
and now, yeah, Tyrion.
Tyrion was a friend. Yeah, like they were and Varys was probably Tyrion's best friend, if we're being for real, Like you can make an argument for Podrick and you can make an argument for Bronn, but
Mm-hmm. And
they've gone their separate
yeah,
ways, and ever since he's committed to Daenerys, there's been one person
yeah.
who's been consistently capable of bouncing off of, and it's Varys. So like it's a
Mm-hmm.
sad moment for them, and I really liked it, but Daenerys, with Missandei not there to list all of her titles, lists them herself. Um, Sentence you to die. And Drogon emerges through the shadows when she gets to the Mother of Dragons title, and waits a second after Daenerys's Dracarys command, and was like, "All right, yeah, fucker,
Full,
hard as fuck."
yeah, full stop. I will recognize Drogon coming out of the darkness here. They do
Course,
well on the mind connection or prep talk that we think happens like beforehand, thing to make the dragon or dire wolf come in right at the perfect time. They do well. They do well with those. They know how to make those work well, and I will give them that. It was holy shit. Can you like? I'd rather get beheaded. Like I don't know. I don't like this. That would be so scary. Like I don't know, just the being is killing you. Not like being killed by a weapon kind of just makes sense. Like it's like I don't know, that's clean, that's just how people die. But like something about being killed by the thing itself, like that's just I don't know. That Varys's like reaction to when he's like holy fuck, like realizing what's happening and like accepting
Mhm.
it all, like oh my god, like what a moment. This execution was sad that it had to
Yeah,
happen, but
it's strong though. I love the shot of Drogon emerging from the shadows with Jon and Daenerys standing there. Like, I love the way that. I mean, I don't love it, but that's the way they wrote it. Everyone's guilty by association. It's a wonderful one. Like, that's one of the few good choices about the way that they do this. Is that makes Jon look like an idiot. It makes Tyrion look like an idiot, and I don't exactly love that for the characters, but like they are idiots.
yeah,
They're stupid. Um,
yep, yep. Yeah, at some point, I don't know. Like that's the thing is that like you don't have to kill her, but like at this point, kinda a little
no, I
bit,
mean, next
but
episode, she
like
says she's going to keep doing this.
yeah, I mean,
She doesn't
like
plan on killing her until she says, "We're gonna do this everywhere. We're gonna do this all over the world. We're gonna cleanse it and start anew." And he's like, "Oh, okay. Yeah,
goodbye.
you do have to kill that person."
Yeah, that is officially you're not a human anymore. Um, and yeah, just better if you're not there. But yeah, it's man, I don't know. I don't know what like could have happened, you know, because if they go with Jon and well, if they go with Jon, she goes crazy anyways, and she still does what she does.
Yeah.
If they do this marriage thing, the marriage thing is really probably the only way that it'll work. But Jon's too honorable to be like, no, I can't do a marriage that I'm not gonna be a loving husband and whatever. So like it wouldn't work, which would still make her go crazy and do what she will do. So like,
And she doesn't wanna share power anyway. I don't think she wants a king.
mm-hmm. And after losing Missandei and everyone else, you know, that we've listed before and all the other reasons, like yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
it's just kind of over. Like
starting with season 7, episode 6, we're talking Viserion, Jorah, Missandei, Rhaegal,
half the
Jon's love,
Dothraki,
half the Dothraki,
half the
um,
Unsullied.
the loyalty of some of her closest advisors, um, the rightful claim to the throne. Um, yeah, I mean, like, if that all piles up on you out of nowhere, yeah, it makes sense, you know? That's why I think the Fallen Angel arc is a good one for her. I just don't think they do it well, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
like it makes sense what she like. I don't think people are mad at the decision that she makes. It's just that like I guess and I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know like I just go after Cersei at first. I don't like how is that not the fucking play? How does she not fly straight to the Red Keep? I've been trying to hold it in until we get to the bells, but like how is this not how does she go straight for the city? Like whenever the first fire, like I'm still in disbelief. Like whenever Drogon lets the first burst out, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm
it
like,
straight up made me cry.
yeah, I'm like, at least kill Cersei first and then
Yeah.
do that. Like if you're going to, fuck. I don't know. Don't start with the innocents. Like, but we're at Varys's death.
Mhm.
We're
Well, we're
at the
past it
beginning.
now.
All right, yeah,
Um,
but
in their room later, Jon comes to see Daenerys. She asks him what she said would happen if Jon told his sister, and Jon replies he doesn't want the crown, and this is what he said to Varys. Daenerys says Sansa betrayed Jon's trust. She killed Varys as much as I did. This was a victory for her. Now she knows what happens when people hear the truth. And Daenerys confides that the people of Westeros love Jon more than her, and that all she has is fear, not love. And Jon tells Daenerys, "But I love you," and she says she will always be. And she says she will always be his queen, regardless of how others feel about her. Daenerys asks, "Is that all I am to you?" your queen. And she and Jon kiss. However, Jon breaks off the kiss, still unable to get over their blood ties. And in response, Daenerys accepts this and solemnly says, "All right then, let it be fear."
Uh,
One last shot in the dark, you know?
mm-mm. Yeah. I think she's just lost everything and she's got to the point where it's like, yeah, well, people are gonna come down with me. You know, she's not going down alone. That's just I don't know. It's what it comes down to. She's going out with a bang, and it's
I
afraid.
don't
It's an
think she intends on dying.
Yeah, I guess I think it's just it doesn't matter. Like if she does, she does. If she doesn't, great. Like I think it's just kind of like I don't care. She has no one. She's alone. She'll try to conquer and try to still do what she can do. But I don't think she's like ever afraid of dying. Like she's always going to put herself in danger. I guess at this point there is no danger though if she can continue.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I straight up don't think it's about like
Mm.
living or dying. I think it's straight up about ruling peacefully or ruling violently. Like that's the thing she's contemplating now. And now she's like, all right, fine. Then that's enough. That's it. That's over for me. But in the throne room of Dragonstone, Tyrion consults with Daenerys, the latter of whom is now ordering Grey Worm and the Unsullied to sack King's Landing. Tyrion is strongly against it, saying that the citizens of the city are not Daenerys' enemy and are innocent. If you storm the city, thousands of children will die. He says that the small folk are afraid of Cersei because she will punish any rebellious acts. And if we can just wait that out, we can succeed. And Daenerys counters that Cersei is using mercy as a weakness against them. But Cersei is wrong. Mercy is their strength. Her mercy for the future generations of Westeros, not those here now.
When you have to start talking like that,
yeah, you're done.
You know you've gone down the wrong path. Yeah, whenever children, not even just innocent adults.
That's what he hammers
even
home.
bad. Yeah, that's even bad.
Yeah,
but like
that's all of it's bad. All of it's bad. But he's like, I want to make it clear. Thousands of children will die. You will kill kids. You're aware of that. That affects the future generations of Westeros. You are aware.
That is the future generation of Westeros right there. Yeah, I think she's just looking for any justification she can. That's how it has to be done. There is no justification for it ever. So that it has to be founded in some way. It is her destiny. It is what she's meant to do. It is right.
It's fucking stupid what it is. But in a last-ditch effort to get through to Daenerys, Tyrion bargains one last time. He will go and talk to Cersei and convince her to surrender, saying Cersei's followers will abandon her if they know the war is lost. Give them that chance. When he does, he will ring the bells of King's Landing, indicating the full, unconditional surrender of Cersei and her army. Tyrion pleads with her not to attack unless he's done this deed. And Daenerys reluctantly agrees. And before Tyrion leaves, she informs him that Jaime was caught by her men trying to get past their lines before warning her hand that the next time he fails her, it will be his very last. Fun little hole in this that I'm not sure. Do ringing the bells just normally mean surrender?
Yeah,
nobody communicates that to Cersei. Jaime doesn't reach her.
Yeah, I think that was just Tyrion's plan, is that like hopefully Jaime will get to Cersei, tell her that the bells mean surrender. But like I think it's like it's like a white flag in war. I think like it is, he doesn't have to, I don't think it has to be communicated to Cersei for it to be, because the citizens are screaming, "Ring the bells, please, ring the bells." So like I think,
and then more my question, that's like, why is Tyrion saying that he must go tell her that?
I think it's like convince her to ring the bells, like plead for her, because she won't do it. Like she will use them as human shields. She will not surrender. Make her surrender so that she
Okay.
can live.
I thought the detail was
Maybe,
specifically on the ringing of the bells, but no, I think you're right. I
but
think you're right. But anywho, um, Daenerys reluctantly agrees. Before Tyrion leaves, she informs Jaime was caught by her men trying to get past their lines, and if he fails her again, it will be his very last time.
Hmm.
Then we're in King's Landing, where Sir Davos and his men are prepping for the siege outside King's Landing, and when Jon and Tyrion have arrived, Tyrion asks Davos if he can smuggle something specific for him. He gets past the guards surrounding Jaime's tent and enters to see his brother shackled to a post. Tyrion reveals that he smuggled the key to Jaime's shackles and unchains him. This is my favorite scene. You know, the last interaction Jaime and Tyrion have.
mm,
That he wants him to be the one to go to Cersei and convince her to surrender, saying it will be much easier for him than it would be for Tyrion himself. And Tyrion has arranged with Davos a boat for Jaime and Cersei to escape to Pentos. Jaime agrees, but argues that Daenerys will kill Tyrion for this. But Tyrion then delivers my favorite line of the episode:
mm.
thousands of innocent lives, one not particularly innocent dwarf. It seems like a fair trade. And he thanks Jaime for everything he has ever done for him before the two brothers share a tearful goodbye for the last time. It's the best scene of the episode.
Yeah, no,
It's
it is almost like Peter Dinklage almost taking performance too, which is crazy comparing it to Amelia Clark here. Like I think it is clear. Like Amelia Clark just has more, and just kind of crazy. She goes hard. This is crazy for her. But man,
I mean,
this
yeah,
is
we're about to get to the last. We're not far off from the last time she shows her face in the episode, though. She's not. She's not in the episode for like 40 minutes.
wow. I guess that's just how much of a presence she has then, because it's
I think Tyrion is on screen more.
oh shit. Wow. That you're actually yeah, because it if after she gets going, it's just she's in the air and you just know she's on Drogon. It's not like we check
Well,
in
and
with her.
that's a choice.
Um,
Like she's she's gone. She is the dragon. That is what she is. Um,
ah,
she's done. Like there's no Daenerys to show. This is what she is. Like it's just
mm-hmm. I
so.
see.
That's one of the better choices too. I think it's a good choice they never show her again at the end of this episode.
Hmm.
I like that choice a lot. But like the last time you see her is when she's standing on the wall, like working her way up to being like, all right, I'm gonna burn them all.
Dong,
But
dong, 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 dong,
yeah,
dong, dong. Like this, the speed up
uh,
of the oh,
yeah,
dude. Like there are
very good. It's well
some
done. Like
good,
again,
yeah.
it's well shot. It's well edited. The tension is there. Like even though I know what's about to happen and I don't like what's about to happen, my heart's racing and I'm like Tyrion being like, no, like don't. And then she like that shit. The first time he gets up and you hear the wings flap and then you're like, fuck. Like it's good. It is well done.
Yeah.
The literal choices they did make, how they do the filmmaking is good. But beyond that, it's tough to reconcile. And the next morning, the united army of the unsullied Dothraki and Northmen are waiting outside the walls of King's Landing. Tyrion instructs Jon to call off his men when they hear the bells ringing. Meanwhile, a select few citizens of the city have been crowded in the Red Keep to protect them from the coming invasion. Protect them is in quotes. Cersei overlooks the city and sees her plan coming to fruition. Another one of my favorite shots was just the establishing shot of
Mm.
the angle we're going to see of the city burning later,
Yep.
where it pushes past Cersei and shows the city as it stands. And it's like, okay, well, this is it.
Take a good last look. Yeah, at
Mhm.
King's Landing. Because I mean, there's some of it that's left, but like percentage wise, what
It's
would you
several
say?
blocks.
What would you say
Um,
that percentage wise she destroyed? Um,
less than you'd think. I'd be
I'd say
like,
like
and
the
it's a lot.
castle, like the main Red Keep of the Red
Mhm.
Keep, it's pretty fucking done. I guess there's still some parts standing, like the throne room. It's all in
Yeah,
ruin,
there's several blocks though.
but
Several blocks of King's Landing. I'm going 20%.
yeah,
20% of
I
King's
think
Landing is gone.
that's probably fair. Yeah.
Um, I don't think she does like half or anything,
No, no,
which
no,
would have
no,
been
no.
terrible. But like, I think we're at a place where tens of thousands die, and there are a million people in King's Landing, um,
Mhm. Okay. Yeah.
which is a lot. Don't get me wrong, like, it is a fucking lot of people she kills,
It's
but,
like the first ring, like the outer ring of the city. She kind of just wiped them out, and then the Red Keep, and that's kind of it. But then everything else was just kind of
she
well,
does go block by block it for a while there,
yeah.
though.
And
There's a lot.
I was wondering her straight, like if there was any, if it was just fuck it, we're just going. It's just
Just burn shit.
I see a
Uh,
road, I see people, I see anything. Yeah, just burn. But yeah, I guess it's crazy that we're not actually like far off. It's like we're like actually almost there,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is nuts.
It
But
in Blackwater Bay, the Iron Fleet waits in silence when Daenerys, riding atop Drogon, ambushes them by diving directly out of the sun, diving directly down on them. And the Ironborn fire their scorpions, but are unable to land a hit, for their target is too fast. And with his flames, Drogon all but destroys the entirety of the Iron Fleet. Uh, Euron is able to narrowly escape, and as the armies wait at the gates for the bells to ring, Daenerys and Drogon suddenly burst through the gates in a fiery blast, scattering the Golden Company. Um, useless ass army. Wonderful addition.
we didn't even get elephants, and we didn't even get to see them fight for a single second. We got to see the
Nope.
leader of the Golden Company run.
We got a really cool mirroring shot that I enjoyed a lot, that I think epitomizes the difference between a man of honor and a sellsword. When the Northern Unsullied and Dothraki army charges, there is a shot that almost perfectly mirrors Jon Snow looking at the oncoming onslaught at the Battle of the Bastards, where the camera whips around him and it shows the coming
Hmm.
onslaught, but he runs away instead of facing them down. Um,
Hmm.
Also directed by Miguel Sapochnik. I think it's definitely purposeful. I think that they were definitely trying to draw that
Wow.
comparison. Um,
Yeah. I mean, that's what I like. There are the things I'll pick out that I like of the episode. Like John's always like still good. Like he's like
Stupid, but he's good.
having to deal with what's going on, and he's like, wait, no, wait, hold on, like what the fuck's going on? And him, uh, it's just the moral lines are gone. Like there's no, it's just chaos. There's nothing you can really do. He's trying to save as many people as he can, sort of thing, and he's still being who he is, but it's just it is just kind of like, what the fuck do we do now? Like that's kind of the whole vibe that I get the whole episode is just there's nothing they can do. She wiped out the Iron Fleet in like 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They're gone. She wiped out the Golden Company in seconds. Like done. And then like all of the Scorpions gone. Like all of their defenses done. There is nothing that King's
There's
Landing can
nothing
do.
left.
There is literally nothing that they can do.
Nothing.
She has won. The battle is over. The last war has ended within a grand total fighting time of probably 5-10 minutes. Like of
Mhm.
Daenerys just putting in a little bit of fire.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like
no, for sure. And we
uh
cut back and forth between, Qyburn kind of begging Cersei to, like, or letting her know, um,
like
hey,
the Iron
stuff's
Fleet
not
is
stuff's
gone,
gone.
actually. Yeah, the Golden Company is gone. They are not defending the gates anymore. Um, yeah,
The
it's
Scorpions are gone.
ah,
So we might as well surrender.
mm-hmm,
There's another really good shot of the United Army taking the streets landing, with Grey Worm, John, and Davos kind of leading the charge. It's a eclectic, cool group of people to see
mm-hmm.
march the streets. And they make their way to Lannister soldiers who are waiting, and the two opposing armies come to an intense standstill until Daenerys perches Drogon atop one of the walls. Realizing their chances of winning are dwindling fast, the Lannister soldiers throw their arms to the ground, and Tyrion and Jon are visibly relieved as the battle is seemingly done and citizens of the city cry out for the bells to be rung. And after a long amount of time passes in a well-edited sequence of it going from Cersei to Tyrion to
Mm,
Daenerys to Cersei to Tyrion to Daenerys and Daenerys to Jon to Tyrion to Cersei. Just a wonderful, very, very cool
mhm.
building of tension. Again,
Yeah,
editing, music, acting, they do a great job. You can't deny that. I don't think you can take away
yeah.
from the show for that regard. Um, but after a long amount of time passes, the bells are finally rung, signaling what appears to be the end of the sack of the city.
Mhm.
And when the bells keep ringing, Daenerys Targaryen, Emilia Clarke, earns her performance nod. Um, Gazes at the Red Keep with a look of pure hatred and
Rawr, 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 rawr.
unadulterated
And
madness.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah. She doesn't even look like the same person. Like it's like it's nuts how
and hats off to Emilia Clarke once again. She's sitting on a green saddle in front of a green screen.
holy shit. Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
not looking at anything. There's nothing she's looking at. It is all green screen.
What do you
Uh,
think she's thinking of to get her this mad?
the storyline.
The script. She's thinking of the script. She's thinking of this is going to ruin my career. This is I have been built. This is what has gotten me kind of everything, and now I'm going to throw it in the toilet. It's D&D. Yeah, it's oh my
Yeah.
god.
Literally, like I guarantee you, the way she taps into such anger is as a result of her reacting to her storyline.
Oh my god. I wonder if anyone has asked her this. No way she would answer. I don't know. Even if this is the truth, do you think she'll answer it honestly if she was asked that question?
I mean, she's been very transparent about how much she fucking hated the story.
Hmm.
Like, she
Okay.
she has. There's a behind the scenes story that is absolutely devastating. That like, I mean, Emilia Clarke, one of the strongest people living. Like, she's suffered 2 separate brain aneurysms. I don't know if you know that. During the run of this show. Um, she had 2 separate brain aneurysms, brain surgery, and worked on this show continuously. Um, she
Okay.
was an icon, you know, in the time that she was
Holy
on screen.
fuck.
People were naming their children Khaleesi,
Yeah.
and all this stuff. So when she read the script, she called her mom and sobbed for like an hour. Like that was what she did when she read the script for the finale or for this episode. She was like, they're running it into the ground. Like this is like my character, everything I like, and I don't think again, I think a fallen angel arc is good. I really do. And I think that they've always done a really good job at painting Daenerys as a she toes the line. You know, she does
Mhm.
good, but she does good to bad people, and what she does to those bad people is fucking brutal. She's not nice about it, which is, we applaud her for it. Who's to be mad? Like that, like what Tyrion says next episode. So
Yep.
I, to dive so fucking quickly is jarring. It really is. But yeah, so I'm of the mind that anytime she taps into emotion like this, she's thinking about what she's doing.
Yeah, I think you're right. I was kind of asking the question more of like as a joke, but I
Yeah,
think
no, but I think there's a valid answer.
yeah.
Like, I literally like Amelia Clark, I have untapped amounts of admiration for her. She's
Holy
a
yeah.
brilliant woman, a brilliant actress, and what she managed to do on the show was incredible. So, hats off to Amelia Clark. This performance was incredible, and without uttering a single word, Daenerys takes Drogon to the skies and, in a terrifying display of rage, begins to burn the city, incinerating entire buildings and neighborhoods, killing both soldiers and civilians alike. And outside the city, Tyrion is horrified by what he has witnessed. Following in his queen's footsteps, Grey Worm, filled with vengeance and a bloodlust, takes his spear and throws it at the Lannister captain, killing the unarmed man. And with that, it becomes the call to arms as the Targaryen, Stark, and Arryn forces begin attacking and killing surrendered forces. And in horror, frozen in horror, Jon orders his own men back and tries to get them to stop fighting. But unfortunately, The Northmen are in no mood to be merciful, and any sign of them listening is quickly undone when a Lannister soldier chooses to fight Jon. So he starts to fight, and then all of them are like, "Fuck it, let's go, we ride." But yeah, the choice for Daenerys to start burning city blocks. I think it's astounding that the point isn't made via her burning the Red Keep and the civilians that are there. You know, like it's still killing civilians. It still indicates a degree of madness. But at least it was targeted at Cersei, you know? I don't know. It's all bad. None of it's good. There's no way to fucking
She's sitting. The battle is won. Her enemy is Cersei. That's who she wants to kill Cersei, and she was okay with killing a city to get to Cersei, but Cersei's her goal. That is who she wants to kill at the end of the day. The bells are rung, and she's going crazy. She's like, "No, I can't accept the fact that you're gonna live through this. Like, you cannot live through this. You must die. But first, let me go ahead and kill a couple 10,000 people, innocents, just with no pattern, no strat, no, just
yeah, no, I mean, like, it's one thing for her to be a fallen angel. There's something really compelling about the fallen angel arc that makes sense. You know, when you're thinking about Anakin Skywalker, what he longs for, peace, justice, security, freedom, and my new empire. At least the actions taking are justified in his brain. I don't know how the actions Daenerys is taking could be justified in her brain. And I'm not saying that Anakin's actions would be in any way justifiable.
Yes, but he's taking out the Jedi. Like, he is, like, they are children. Yeah, sucks. Terrible. A lot of them aren't, I guess. I don't know. But he specifically is taking out the children and everyone else. But, like, it at least is, like, his enemy, you know? Like, it is, like, the military of his enemy. Like, logical, if you're gonna genocide, okay, sure. It's tough to compare, I guess, yeah.
No, but I mean, even beyond that. I mean, just like, I'm mostly talking about his justification to Obi-Wan Kenobi when they are on Mustafar, explaining that, like, why I've done what I've done.
I see.
You
Okay, not the act,
like,
but him being
I
like,
don't know what Daenerys could say that could possibly justify what she's just done, even within her own mind. Like, what she's describing is
ridding the world of tyrants, breaking the wheel. That is her goal.
It's similar to what they do with Thanos in Avengers Endgame. And originally quite nuanced and interesting take on a villain in Infinity War. And then in Endgame, he's like, well, fuck it. I'll wipe it all out and I'll rebuild it myself.
Now it's personal. Yeah. Now, like, and I think that is what happened here. Like, it became personal, and that is why, that is why she does go off. But at least Thanos is killing the Avenger. Like, I don't know. Like, he is like going, like, it still makes like logical sense. Like, and I hate to be like, everything has to make logical sense in order for the show to be good. But when it's the crux of the show, when it is the turning point of the show, the biggest moment that you're going to show, this is bigger than the killing the Night King. This is the entire show, the biggest characters, what we are leading up to. And when that logic doesn't track, then there's a problem. Like, then
no, and I'm with you. I'm with you that logic doesn't need to track. But when I'm talking about logic doesn't need to track, I'm talking about time jumps. I'm talking about, like, oh, Gendry made it to the wall really fast and he made it back really fast. A lot of that communication. But that's convenient. This is actively inconvenient. There's nothing about this that makes sense.
Yeah, because, like,
and maybe I'm just in denial, but I don't think I am, because I've liked this storyline in the past. I've enjoyed this episode. I've come to the realization that it is just bad, and I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. You know, I don't. Given the time constraints and what they were doing and how they decided to do it, I don't know how to fix it. I don't know that it's possible. Like the way to fix it is to rehaul probably the last 2 seasons and turn it into 3 seasons. You know, 3 10-episode seasons instead of 13 episodes.
Yeah, and at least the one decision that I could say that like they should have made is her flying to the Red Keep first. If she
Yeah.
wants to go on her madness crave, sure, she can do it. Kill Cersei first. Burn the Red Keep first, and then go. That's at least one thing that I can like clearly be like, wow, I don't know how they didn't do that, going down the road they did. But yeah, you're right. Like it shouldn't have even really. We shouldn't have been here this quickly, anyways. This should
Mhm.
have a lot more needed to happen, and we
Well,
just
it's not
didn't.
that a lot more needed to happen, it's that it just needed to be
Breathe.
more
It
gradual
just
descent.
yes,
Like,
just needed to
all like, you
breathe.
could literally keep the events that happen in episode 4 and 3 and in season 7 and just let them spread out, you know? Let me witness a little bit more of Daenerys's isolation, you know?
Yeah, or
I un
show us how Cersei is defending the Red Keep. We never see her side of it really. Like she's stocking up all these scorpions. Like they're just kind of built off screen and we see it. But
Mhm,
show us her being like, if we want to stand a chance, we need to do these things. Don't let it be a surprise so that you can kill a dragon out of nowhere. It's like that's what they like. That's why all of her defenses were hidden and everything is so that they could kill Rhaegar out of nowhere, which sucked anyways. Like that decision
mhm,
sucked. So it's like they're going for crazy shock value every time for everything. It's like just what they bank
mhm,
on, and I think Daenerys' decision is the biggest shock value they could go for. The obvious decision is to kill Cersei. It is to go after the Red Keep. But
mhm,
then you see her just kill innocent people, and you're like, what the fuck? The whole rest of the episode, you're just like, your hands are on your head, and you're just like, what the fuck are we doing? You're like, what? How did we get here?
mm,
It's not it's not unbelievable that Daenerys is getting to this point, but it's crazy in the way that she did it. And yeah, it's just yeesh. Um, not actively bad, like truly actively bad. Um,
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. But, regardless, the Northmen are in no mood to, you know, be merciful towards House Lannister, so a house who are almost single-handedly responsible for every single atrocity in the North has suffered over the years. Ned Stark's execution, the War of the Five Kings, the Red Wedding, the rule of Roose and Ramsay Bolton. The Northmen are ready to take it out on House Lannister, and they join their new allies in the slaughter. So Chaos erupts as the unsullied Northmen unveil charge into the innermost parts of the city, killing anyone. That's the other part, is that the soldiers are also doing it. They're like, "Cool, sweet, we get to just kill." Um, this is what was described in season 2, episode 9, Battle of Blackwater. Whenever they were like, "Do you know what a siege is? Do you know what happens when they break the siege?"
mm,
Uh, they they kill
the
everybody. They
rules are
rape
off.
women.
Yeah, like
They do, yeah, like, this is what happens. Um, it's just insane that it's happening with the command of Jon Snow. And, guys like so it's like, what the fuck are we doing here? A horrified Jon is caught up in the disorder, deflecting attacks and shouting at his men to stop fighting while Davos tries to usher people to safety. And an increasingly fearful and alarmed Cersei looks on from the Red Keep in shock as the carnage continues and fire comes down from above, realizing that her dependence on Daenerys's mercifulness is folly. Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
The past the point of no return. You could say a little bit. Yeah, this is and Cersei's still, she's still like, no, we're good. And now that I've had time to reflect, I think that this is just death denial. That
Yeah,
like
I don't think it's rule denial. I think it's like
it's
she's
just death denial. She knows her reign is over. It's just like,
yeah.
holy shit, I'm going to die. Like,
Well, now she's in a place where she's like, well, if I'm gonna live, the safest place is probably the Red Keep, right? Like that's basically what she's thinking. It's not really like, oh,
mm-hmm.
as long as I sit on my throne, as long as I possibly can, everything will be okay. It's like I literally don't know where else I would go to
Yeah, there's
live in
actually
this
no
situation.
other option. Like
Yeah.
there's just nowhere else to go. They're
For
surrounded.
those for
Mm.
those curious, me and Joe we were text messaging for 2 straight hours after we watched these episodes last night, kind of hashing through our thoughts. So we got to refine them quite a bit before we came on mic here. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't look good. On the ground, John finds one of his own men grabbing an innocent woman uh, who is about to sexually assault her, and he has to kill a Northman. Um, the soldier attacked John first, and John has to put a sword through him. And meanwhile, in the air above, Daenerys begins destroying parts of the Red Keep, sending tons of debris falling to the ground below. And around this time, Jaime sneaks around the cliffs on which the Red Keep is situated and encounters Euron. So that's where he ended up when he dove out of the water, dove out of his ship. Jaime urges Euron to help him save Cersei. Let's do this thing. But the Ironborn King points out that the city and Cersei are lost. He and Jaime, he's like, this is all that's left. Let's fucking fight, man. Let's do this thing.
Another king for you, and it makes me realize shit. Euron is kind of the king, like right now. Like the kind of like legitimate, like if there is a regent or king, or not regent, that's like when someone died, but like
Consort.
yes, thank you. If there is someone, I guess they're not married yet, quite yet, but like that's who it would be if it
Yeah.
were to continue, which is just kind of nuts. And yeah, the fight it's whatever.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't like either of these guys. I don't give a fuck who wins this fight. I don't.
I'm
So,
the
like,
man who
why is
killed
it a
Jaime
part of the
Lannister.
episode?
To make Jaime die before he dies,
And he doesn't.
he gets all
They
the way there.
basically
It's not
give
even
him
like his.
even
It's not. Yeah, it's not even like it made his job harder. It like he was screwed anyways. It didn't do anything. If you take that fight out of the episode, nothing changes.
Euron should have died on his fucking ship.
Yeah. Yeah. And how did he know about this? Did he just did he know about this?
This is just where he washed up. This is just where he washed up. I guess. I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, that's just piss poor shit. Terrible, terrible fucking scene. Euron's a useless fucking character. Jaime shouldn't be down in the South at all. So all of it's bad. But meanwhile, Arya and the Hound sneak into the Red Keep and reach Maegor's Holdfast. The walls crumbling around them. Sandor urges Arya to go home, arguing that Cersei is as good as dead, but Arya insists that she is going to be the one that kills her. And before she continues on, Sandor grabs her by the arm and urges her to choose life over vengeance, saying that he himself has been seeking revenge his entire life, and tells Arya to be someone better than him, a living embodiment of vengeance she is seeking and what it will do to her. And when Arya tries to continue onward, Sandor warns that if she goes with him, she'll also die. As he goes to deal with his brother, Arya calls him by his name for the first time. Sandor. Thank you.
That's the first time.
That's the first time she ever calls him Sandor. Yeah.
I already went with Arya for my character.
Yeah, I did too.
That's like I kind of had the realization that she might be the main character. Like maybe not main character, but like main character when it comes to who the god of Game of Thrones cares about. It's Arya. I feel like this is a lesson. Like the Hound was clearly like very very influenced by the Lord of Light. Everywhere he needed to be was like, for a purpose and whatever. And I think like his most grand purpose was to make sure that Arya does not die here as well. That it is like to teach this lesson to Arya. Like they have the relationship. The Hound can simply say, "Do you really want to be like me?" And just in that, Arya is like, Thank you. Like that's all it takes is that. So like
Mhm.
it could just be a beautiful just the way it is, but like the Lord of Light, like I kind of threw it out the window like the last episode and in this episode, but like because like the Night King was dead and I thought that was like the whole point, but like that the I don't know, for the god, that's just kind of like another event. Like we thought that that's like, oh, it has to that like I don't know, that's it, but like they're I don't know, they still continue on and they're probably still doing shit whatever, and it makes me feel that like the white horse that shows up for Arya at the end, her like doing all these other little things and stuff like that was like very, I don't know, it was almost like they were like, hey, look at who the real doer of the show kind of like is. I don't know, not trying to say that like she takes over Jon and Daenerys and all these other people, but as far as like the Lord of Light angle, I guess is where I'm coming from, or whatever god is up there. George R. I guess. But yeah, love Arya. That bumped, let's see, bumped her up past Sandor, sadly. They were tied at 9.
Yeah, I was tempted. I was
Um
tempted to switch mine to the Hound because I do love him in this episode.
oh,
Like having the awareness to look at Arya and look out for her in that way. You know,
I don't
like
want to make you switch, but
no, no,
it
no, no,
would
no.
be
I mean,
poetic that they tie. But this this would bump Arya. Mine bumps Arya up to 10, which ties her with Oberyn Martell and Tyrion Lannister, at 10, and
and
then
11 would bump her above them.
yes, 11 is Daenerys. That's the next. That's the next one up. And then the Hound is right below Arya at 9. Um,
Okay. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I'm gonna stick with Arya because I loved the arc she goes on in this episode. It kind
so
of
11.
it's
Wow,
the
would you
first
look
time
at
I've
that?
watched this show since I watched the Batman.
Hmm.
Um, I realized that vengeance isn't the key.
Hmm.
Hope. That's what I have to inspire. She goes down to the city. She starts saving people. She starts trying to take people take people to safety
Yeah.
instead of trying to kill people. It's
Hmm.
cool. I think it's a great arc for her to go on, and I think that it makes sense that she becomes a little superhero in this episode. You know, she does what she can to help, but
Mhm.
it's ultimately not enough. You know, she goes through some shit in this one,
Yeesh.
uh,
Yeah. Um, but
but
yeah.
yeah, having convinced
Uh,
Cersei that all is lost, Qyburn evacuates Cersei and her Queen's Guard from the Red Keep, but they come across Sandor before they reach Maegor's Holdfast. The Hound effortlessly dispatches his guard before standing face to face with his brother, and Cersei orders Gregor to protect her, and when the Mountain defies her, since he wanted to fight his brother, Qyburn repeats the order, causing the Mountain to smash his head against the wall, killing Qyburn and throwing him down the stairs. Satisfying death. Well deserved. Uh,
yeah. See you later,
Earned that.
Kyburn.
Yep.
That was very quick. Very very quick. But this,
One of those characters you can afford to do that with too. It
yeah,
was nice.
we didn't need
Um,
anything for him. He was just kind of he was cool. He gave little kids candy.
Listen
Uh,
to your queen.
yeah.
uh,
Okay. And Cersei
his
just being
eyes
like,
are like gone.
yeah, Cersei just kind of being like, that's my cue. I
I'm gonna
will
head out.
leave you two to it. You
Yeah.
guys do whatever you need to
Just kind
do.
of like walks down the stairs, fucking hysterical.
Yeah.
Um,
Looks at
but
Kyburn like, holy fuck. Like, yeah, just kind of like looking at his body. You gotta imagine like she like that could have been her. Like the mountain could have just slammed both of them if he wanted to. Like he could have killed Cersei and it wouldn't have fucking
how would
mattered.
you have felt if the Hound killed Cersei?
Ooh. Mm. Well, better than how she did die.
Yeah, I'm like,
Um, I'd rather, yeah, the Hound just be like, shink, just literally, like on while she's walking down. Maybe it's like he's like, do I kill her? He's kind of thinking like, wow, she really is just walking down, and then like he's like, yeah, just fuck, and then he just turns around and just kills her. I don't know. I think that'd be hilarious.
I think that
Um,
there's a funny thing they could have done, and I think it could have been cool the way that I'm playing it in my head. They don't do flashbacks, you know. I wish
mm,
there's a couple things throughout the episode that I like if they could flash to things going through Danny's mind as she's like you
mm-hmm,
know, like that would be really cool. If during this moment the Hound could have like flashed to Arya saying she's gonna kill the queen, and then it flashed back to him and just being like he does it for her, ready to like I think that would have been a really cool way to wrap up their storyline as a duo. It would have been sudden. It would have
Oh,
been like, oh shit, but
he stabs her right in the heart, and he says, "That's where the heart is," or like like the
yeah.
lesson that he taught her, or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That could be that man. The Hound killing
Cool.
Cersei. Actually, wow,
Could
never
have been
thought of
cool.
that
Could have
before.
been cool.
But
No, I mean,
yeah,
like, it's definitely the least emotion like, you'd want Arya, or you'd want Jaime, or you'd want Daenerys, or there's several people you would want to see do it, but
hmm.
if they were so dead set on subverting expectations, um, he could also use it as a moment to, like, defy his brother, like,
Hmm.
this is the person his brother's been tasked with protecting. He takes advantage of it by killing her and is like, "Sup
Now,
now? You
what do
gonna
you
get my
have?
ass?"
What are
Yeah,
you doing? Like,
yeah.
look at what you're doing. And honestly, the Hound, he takes orders really from nobody. Like, he's for real just on his own.
Mhm.
Like, in the mountain, yeah, no, he's always taking orders. Always just been trapped in King's Landing
I
for like his whole life.
absolutely fucking love the shot. It's a classic shot where, the Hound's looking up at the mountain and the dragon flies overhead, just so fucking cool. I
Oh
absolutely love
yeah, no, they fucked. They fucked there. I always have this
that.
like back thought of like, man, I wish I could be the actor of the Hound, Sandor Clegane. What's his
Mhm.
um
Rory McCann.
yeah, Rory McCann, because then I could like that would be my wallpaper on my computer. Would be like that like freeze,
That's
that's
me.
yeah,
Yeah.
like holy shit, like that's fucking cool. Like I think like an extra in like a show, like some of the people that like got to load the scorpions and stuff like had like a moment
Mhm.
where they were like just standing in front of a massive scorpion. Like you got to imagine that person is just like they definitely have
That's
that,
me.
and they're like they show like they watch this episode and they're like, look, wait, right here, right here, look at that, that's me. Like I don't know, I think
Yeah.
that's kind of
Oh, no, that
cool,
is
but
cool. That's a really cool like, I actually the same thought occurred to me last night because I was looking for some of the cameos, because there's a pretty big one, and given his affinity for misinformation and, maybe he was lying, apparently Aaron Rodgers is in this episode somewhere. Um,
what? Really?
yeah, yes, but, really good chance he was lying
Yeah, I
given
didn't.
everything we know about Aaron Rodgers. Um,
Yeah, I don't. I did. I guess I didn't catch him. Yeah, I don't, I've never heard of
he's
that
like, "What
before
if I
though.
lied through my teeth every chance I got?" Um
Quarterback plays soldier in Game of Thrones, so just he might just.
Nobody's ever like, nobody surefire identified him in this episode. Like, there's one guy who people think is Aaron Rodgers, but he has expressly said, "No, that one's not me."
Huh. Then yeah. Oh yeah, not Aaron Rodgers, literally, and this is explains exactly why he's not. Wow. But it does also say Aaron Rodgers explains exactly where to find his cameo. So maybe it's not that guy, but it's just maybe he is just an extra like
Oh, I mean, like,
that.
that is what he would be. Like, if we can't spot him, it's because he's just in the background
Mm-hmm.
somewhere, but,
Okay. Wow.
regardless,
Yeah, that's
this fight breaks out here. Sandor attacks his brother, and it has little effect, and he knocks Gregor's helmet off his head, revealing his face for the first time in its full glory to us, causing Sandor to mock him. And provoked, Gregor unsheathes his sword and, in his fury, begins to madly fight his brother. But Sandor proves to be a better fighter and manages to drive his sword into Gregor's chest, and though it does not kill him, uh, after
uh
pulling the sword out
yeah,
and
he's
discarding most of his armor, his disgusting, beaten, barren body, uh, he bears down on his brother and lifts him up against the wall, putting him in a chokehold. The Hound tries to free himself by stabbing Gregor several times with a knife, which proves to be
just
ineffective.
fucking die. He's like, what
Yeah.
the fuck? Um it, I mean, yeah. I mean, holy what
This is brutal. This is brutal. Probably the coolest action sequence in the episode,
yeah,
undoubtedly.
actually the only action sequence I do care about.
Yeah.
Cuz
We
like
got the Clegane Bowl. This was one of the things going into season 8. One was like,
the
we
Clegane
need the Hound.
Bowl. Oh man, I
Yeah.
remember the Clegane Bowl. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
all the hype for that. Yeah, no, but they delivered. No, this was like actually a good ending for him. Like I rather it
Oh
would be
yeah.
like a fuck it, we're
Where
both.
and one of the more poetic endings, he dies by diving into a pit of fire with his brother. Like that's
Oh, yeah. Wow. Would you look at that? He
yeah.
we don't face our fears, we ride them.
Yeah.
what is that?
Yes.
That's from Twister. Why did that come
Yeah.
into my head? But or
Watched that trailer a
Twisters.
couple times now. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Dune. Yeah, just it's just been I've been.
Fear is the mind killer. But
Hmm.
yeah, no, Sandor stabs his brother clean in the left eye as Gregor tries to gouge his eyes out, and even this does not stop Gregor, who begins pulling the knife from his eye. Knowing that none of his attacks will truly kill his brother, Sandor knows what he must do. Mustering up enough courage to face his fear, he tackles Gregor, shoving him through the badly damaged wall
Hmm.
behind, sending them plummeting hundreds of feet into the fiery remains
Ah,
of the city. And
and
thus we say goodbye to Sandor
yeah.
Clegane.
Well, goodbye. Good. One of the good, just great characters. I mean,
You
kind of
know what?
crazy in the stats. Like he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sixth. He's in sixth place in the entire show.
And I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna switch from Arya.
He's in fifth place.
I'm gonna tie them up.
It's a massive tie. Holy shit. Or actually,
Yeah.
third place. Sorry. We
A
have
strong tier
yeah,
there.
1 Jon Snow, 2 Daenerys Targaryen, and then 3 Arya Stark, Oberyn Martell, Tyrion Lannister, Sandor Clegane, tied for third.
It's a great gang right there. I'm gonna do
Boom.
it. I'm
I
gonna commit
like
to
that.
it. I'm happy with it. But I'm like, he's the one that I fucking loved, the Hound, man. Like that's one of my favorite characters in the entire show. And if I'm you gave Varys that nod
Mm,
last week, kind of just
mhm.
like as a preemptive, like
It was
I'm
yeah.
saying goodbye to one of my favorite characters. Let's go ahead. And he was good, don't get me wrong, but like that's part of it. That's what I'm gonna do for the Hound here. I loved
Mhm.
the guy.
Yeah.
I thought he was a brilliant character. I love Rory McCann, and I wish he could have gotten more performance nods, but uh, the character is just so damn good. So shout out to him for playing such a brilliant character here. But
Mhm. Hell yeah.
Davos and Jon reeling at the carnage and fire surrounding them as caches of wildfire explode while Daenerys and Drogon burn up the city. Davos and Jon share a look, and Jon orders his forces to fall back. He and Davos rush people out of the city as fire rains down upon them. And Cersei herself is alone in the Red Keep when she finds Jaime, bloodied and badly wounded following his fight with Euron. And the two of them go deep into the lower chambers of the Red Keep where Tyrion had told Jaime to go, where there would be a boat waiting for them on the beach to take them away from the city. Unfortunately, however, they find their path has been blocked by rubble. All hope is dashed. That's another good thing. They thought they were going to make it out of it, and they don't. Um,
Yeah. But it'd be even better if they thought Jamie thought he was going to find Cersei and he didn't. Or maybe the fight with Euron that he had that was supposed to kill him killed him.
Jaime, the Hound cuts off Cersei's head, and Jaime just stumbles upon her severed head. Like that'd be great.
Yeah, the head just
Um,
keeps going down the steps. Like
yep.
it's like a
Rolls all the way into the map
Campbell's
room and like,
soup, yeah,
yeah,
commercial.
yes,
It goes to Jamie. Like they're always
yeah.
meant to
It
be
just finds
together.
Jaime,
Yeah, it just finds its way back to him.
rolls and just like faces
Yeah. Oh,
him. Um, no,
okay. So
regardless,
we did find the actual ending of Game of Thrones that
that's
was
the
supposed
ending.
to
That's the
happen.
ending they should have
Dang,
done. They should
man.
have cut to black and then it'd have been like Campbell's soup,
Yeah.
like that sort of thing. But
Wow.
unfortunately, they find their path has been blocked by rubble, and a frightened Cersei begins to cry in fear, saying that she does not want to die. And Jaime tells her not to look at the crumbling keep, saying, "Look at me. Just look at me. Nothing else matters. Only us." Hearing the weakened structure above them caving in, the twins embrace for the last time as the ceiling caves in and crushes them. Cool. Good job. All right. Meanwhile, Arya regains consciousness after she was left incapacitated by a concussive blast. She manages to get into a building full of women and children and convinces them to keep moving,
Mhm.
lest they perish where they stand. And they begin
Yeah.
to escape, but most of them, save a mother and her young daughter, are killed by the roving Dothraki. And the mother collapses and tells Arya to take her daughter to safety. And Arya grabs the child and begins to run, but the girl refuses to leave her mother and goes to her side just as Daenerys and Drogon swoop down one last time, unleashing a torrent of fire upon the innocent civilians. Um, and Arya awakes later and sees the devastation around her, the ash raining, and she looks and sees that the mother and daughter were burned alive and calcified. in their position. She stumbles around the city and sees the bodies of many innocent men, women, and children, all at the hands of her cousin's lover. And she then sees a white horse among the throes of the dead. She goes up to it and is able to calm it before mounting the horse, riding out of the city to an uncertain future, leaving the devastation of King's Landing behind her. And what has become an unrequited order fulfilled, the last words of the Mad King, burn them all, coming to life at his daughter's hands as King's Landing burns.
What do you think of this white
And thus,
horse? You know? What do you-
that's always been an interesting point of questioning for this episode. I think it's abundantly clear that, through previous episodes, that the gods certainly work in mysterious ways regarding Arya. I do believe there's a lot of mythic lore about the meaning of white horses.
And like in House of the Dragon, they had that Rhaenyra saw like a white something, right? Is that House of the Dragon? Am I remembering that right?
It was a deer.
Yeah.
It was a giant deer.
And I don't know. I didn't know if that's all what I remember some people being like, is Arya dead? Is this her, is she in seeing all the people burned and she's walking through, or heaven and heaven sort of afterlife thing. But
in much mythology, it's a rare, distinguished symbol. It typically bears the hero in ceremonial roles or in triumph over negative forces.
Then yeah,
I think it's just
I think that's perfect then, because my scene was the interconnectedness of the Hound and Arya's like kind of thing going on at the same time. I guess it happens through a lot of different stages, but like during like the fight, like she is being trampled on as the Hound is fighting the Mountain, and they're going through similar things, but the Hound ends up dying. The vengeance leads to death, or like revenge leads to death, while Arya choosing to live leads to trying to save as many people as she can. It's not successful, but
she's rewarded with a path of escape.
Exactly. Yeah. And so the opposites. And I thought it was edited well together.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it was actually cool. And that's the thing. There are some glimmers of light throughout this episode.
The technical aspects.
Yeah.
The sound design, the visuals, the editing, the music, it's again exceptionally well made. It is exceptionally poorly written. It's and when it comes to television, again, I reiterate this as a medium. Writing is much more important to it than it is movies. I think movies need good writing. It's to be sure, but it doesn't depend on the story. I watched Love Lies Bleeding last night in theaters. There's a story beat at the end that's like, what the fuck? Okay, but that's cool because it looks dope. It looks awesome. The sound is cool. It's edited it's awesome. It makes the ending of the movie fucking great. So it's like, it's one of those things where medium to medium, these things don't translate. Things need in TV, things need to make sense. There was something Denis Villeneuve was talking about in relation to Dune 2 a few weeks back when he was on his I don't like dialogue thing. Do you remember that discourse? Yeah. He claims, and he said, dialogue is for TV and theater. That is what it is for. That is movies are a visual and audio medium, but TV, it's dependent on interactions. It is dependent on the people and the stories that the story is telling, and specifically through the writing. And obviously Game of Thrones is cinematic on a different level, so it does get a lot of opportunity to do visual storytelling, like it takes advantage of with the white horse at the end, and the editing between the Hound and Arya and stuff. Even my favorite scene, the last interaction between Jaime and Tyrion, is my favorite scene because of Tyrion's performance.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's not because of the way it's written. It's because Tyrion is making me feel what I need to feel in relation to their previous conversations, not because of this conversation itself.
I see.
You know? Um,
I see, yeah. In the 2 hours that you watch a movie, you gotta get everything you gotta get right there, but for TV, it is built on, like, a lot of the previous stuff. The first episode's
yeah.
not because you gotta get there, but, like, eventually, that's what it is. It's
Like,
you
we are
have
8 seasons deep. We're over
Mhm.
what? Over 70 hours into storytelling at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got history, and all history is important people in important rooms or whatever. The quote is,
Talking about
um,
important things.
mhm.
Yeah, no,
But man,
it's so again, I wanna reiterate, and we talked about this a little last week. When it comes to TV, this is where the rating of TV and movies differs. The critical rating of movies can go up a lot more if the technical aspects are that strong.
mhm,
When it comes to a television show with 70 hours of history, the writing is every bit as important, if not even more important than any of those technical aspects. Um, at least that's how I perceive the medium at large, specifically this deep into a show,
yeah,
So it's hard to reconcile.
mhm,
Hard to accept, It took me 5 years, in
yeah,
fact, to accept it, Like,
yeah.
that's what
Think
it took
we're
me 5 fucking years to accept it. It's been 5 years since the show ended. Next month, it will have been 5 years since the show ended. Um,
I it I don't know. It's not gonna happen, but, like, this might be a show that gets the last 2 seasons or, like, the last season rewritten, like, eventually, I don't know. Like, I could see I see, like, remakes are just happening everywhere. Like, we're not really getting any new things. It's always just, like, adaptations of previously written things or remakes of things.
Mhm.
And I feel like we're just gonna run out of ideas, and we're gonna be like, "Well, let's go back to one of the greatest shows that's ever existed, and let's just make it actually end well." Um, but again, there's legal stuff that has a lot of crap that has
A
to
lot of stuff,
yeah, it's
yeah.
not gonna happen.
No,
But,
no, it won't happen. It's the same thing as people thinking they're gonna decanonize the sequels, like, they're
mm,
not gonna fucking do that.
yeah,
The sequel
no.
trilogy, I mean, like, they're not gonna fucking do that. Like, it's just, eh, as much as I would like to see this story, literally the story they told, I'm fine with the story they told. They just told it poorly. Like, I want the events to be
Ooh,
given the breadth that early seasons are given.
yeah, say
Um
they just make some filler episodes to put in between the ones we have. Is that
You gotta chop up a few of these episodes into multiple
Yeah,
episodes. Like I said,
yeah.
last episode is 3 episodes shoved into
That's
1
true.
episode.
There's no way you could yeah, you gotta split that up somehow.
Yeah.
But,
This
man
episode, like, there's an existence where this episode, let's say for a few specific things, including Jaime and Cersei and, like, that sort of stuff, like, the Daenerys losing it, you change just a few details, it's
Mhm.
perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect. I think it's a brilliant, like, again, the fallen angel thing makes sense. They just do it in a bad way. Like, they don't do
yeah.
it in the proper way, and I don't know what that way is. So maybe I sound like an asshat, but, like,
No, it's
it's just not the right way. I don't know.
yeah,
But,
I think if you could come up with a solution for how they could end Game of Thrones like that, it's not
yeah,
that
like, it
great of
would
a
take
story,
fucking work.
I think,
It
like,
would
yeah,
take fucking work.
but, yeah,
But,
looking at this death section is kinda crazy.
yeah, w list them off for me. What do we got?
Varys, top of the episode. Yep, that sucks. Harry Strickland. Oh,
He's the leader of the
leader of
Golden
the Golden
Company.
Company. Yep. See you later.
Yep, most normal ass that's up at the top of the list with, like, Kevin Lannister.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Fuck that guy.
Harry
But
Strickland.
Euron Greyjoy. Next up.
Love that.
Didn't really care for that fight. Whatever. Should have just died whenever Daenerys burned his fleet. Um, Alana. Alana is a commoner. Oh, just a commoner from King's Landing. Sorry.
I'm assuming that's one of the people Arya, like, expressly talks to.
Maybe. That's kind of later. They do have those. Nora, I believe, is her.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Alana, just a commoner, I guess. But let's see. In the midst of the Battle of King's Landing, a panicked man shouts for his wife, Alana, and asks Arya if she has seen her. So that is who Alana is. She died. And then we have Boros Blount. Boros Blunt? Maybe? Blount. Blount.
Yeah, blunt.
In the Queen's Guard.
That's the one that's one of the ones Hound dispatches then.
Yep. They walk down the steps. Yep. And bye-bye. Preston Greenfield, another of the King.
Same situation.
Yep. And probably another, yes. Aris Oakheart, another one. The Hound dismantled. Oh, shit. 4 of them, actually. Balin Swan, he got 4 of them. 5 of them. Holy fuck. Osmond Kettleblack. Okay, never. That's the final number. He killed 5 Queensguard, I guess.
God damn.
Okay, really? I didn't think it was that many, but I guess he kind of did just. I mean, they were coming down the stairs. They were just done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Balin Swan sounds really familiar.
Balin Swan, a knight and the member of the Queen's Guard, season 2. He recalls that Jaime defeated Sir Balon at a wedding. Season 3. Indicating the death of blah blah blah. No. He escorts King Tommen to the steps to the great sept of Baelor.
I think I'm remembering season 2 where Jaime's thinking about how we beat Balin Swan in something.
Okay, wow.
Maybe it's a book. Maybe it's a book thing I'm remembering too. It might be a little bit bigger. It might be. I mean, not bigger, but like just at least says something or something.
I remember everything about that day. Your helmet, your horse, the raked lines along the where the sun was in the sky when you knocked Balin Swan in the dirt. Is Alton Lannister to Jaime, a guy kind of just.
Gotcha. That's the one he strangles.
Yep, in the cell. Yeah, or whatever. Yeah. When he's
Okay.
So
so a lot of death.
Okay.
A lot of death.
Qyburn. Yep, we went through that one. Sandor and Gregor Clegane. The Clegane Bowl went down. Nora, that was the mom. The woman that Arya was saving. Jaime and Cersei Lannister. Kaboom. And these kind of 2 funny ones I didn't think of. Presumed off screen. Ilaria Sand, because she's just been kept prisoner. And Unella, the Septa Unella. Is Septa or was it? Yeah. Just both kind of down there that probably, they got, if they're not dead already from whatever the fuck they were being tortured by.
They are dead now.
They're dead now. And then many Lannister soldiers and many citizens of King's Landing.
All right. Well, yeah. That sounds right. That's a lot of death. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people in this episode. So, before we get to the rating section of this episode, I'm gonna go ahead and do the plugs. If you would, head to patreon.com/PennyBloomPod, where you find over 50 hours of exclusive content, all sorts of book reviews, comic book reviews, movie reviews, and the like. And for $3 a month, you can support this podcast financially. It's huge because it costs me money and I don't make any off of it unless it's over there. Head to Twitter, follow at PennyBloomPod, follow on Instagram and TikTok while you still can at PennyBloomPodcast. Go ahead and watch us on YouTube. You would see just how disappointed I am in this episode. I know you'll be able to hear it, but you'd see it too.
It's way more apparent.
Our essence is completely drained. It's we are usually invigorated with a bit more passion, and it's hard to be excited about this one. So, but you can see that on YouTube if you want to see that. Weirdos, why would you want to see that? Damn, you like to see me sad? Fuck you. But not for real. Leave a 5-star rate and review wherever you might be listening and continue to download. If this is like one of your first time joining us on the Winter is Blooming Game of Thrones rewatch, we are much more positive about so much other stuff in this show. Like, go back and watch the show and watch along with us. It's timeless now. Like, you will always have Winter is Blooming as a companion podcast to Game of Thrones. So if you are joining us for the first time, it's well worth your time to go back and check that stuff out. Um, if you're ever interested in rewatching the show in its entirety, we have an episode for every episode. So
Mhm.
yeah. But with
There
that,
we
let's go
are.
ahead and throw a rating at this bad boy. Enjoyment wise, actively don't like it. Made me angry, made me annoyed. Got my blood rate, my blood pressure up. Um,
Mhm.
didn't make me feel good. I was literally like, I texted you last night. Like I spent so much of my time texting you, absolutely pissed. Um,
Mhm.
Emily was laying down in the bed next to me, and like her feet would like her legs would like touch me,
Mm.
and I'd be like, "Fucking God damn it!" You know, like I'm like
Just everything
I'm
is
getting like
ma
I'm
everything
getting
is
like
bad, yeah.
overloaded.
Mhm.
You know, I'm like, and I looked at the TV and I was like, "This is your fucking fault." You know what I'm saying? I was like, "You
Fucking
goddamn motherfucker, D&D. I'm a god." God.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's, yeah, they deserve I don't know what they deserve. Something. I did slot in one final addition, I think. Maybe next episode we'll get something, but I don't think so. For Arya's kill list, and I put revenge. She has killed that.
She's killed it dead.
She's learned that it is not worth it. Um, and
Wise.
but yeah,
Wise.
I don't know what the ceiling is for actively I hate and I'm mad and so I mean like it's definitely below a 5. I know that for sure,
Yes, yes, but
because
I
it
do
is
think there's
actively
something to
bad.
be said. I think there's something to be said for the things we do like about it, you know? I do enjoy the Hound and Arya. I don't
Mhm.
think they miss a beat with the Hound and Arya in this episode.
That was good.
And
Yes.
they're 2 of the most important characters in the show to me personally,
Mhm.
so I loved seeing that.
Your scene as well was very, very nice.
Solid
Tyrion
scene.
and Jamie's
It's a good
send-off
send-off
was
for
very
them.
good. Let's see. Who
Beyond that, I don't
else?
know that I mean, and then I like the technical aspects, like, the only thing that makes this episode tolerable is that it does look good, is that it does sound good, is that it is edited well. It is performed phenomenally, and I love seeing that stuff. So, I
Mhm.
I know that that's critical. That's the critical side of the rating.
But
However,
yeah, it
that
has an
does
effect.
make the episode more enjoyable, whereas it could have been even less, you know? So, I find myself probably at a 4. I think I will go comfortably below a 5,
Mhm.
but I won't go to the point where I'm like, "There's nothing redeeming about this."
I
You know
think
what
I
I'm
like
saying?
that. I think and it's a different project, whatever, but on the comic book movie project, I think we said, like, once you get below a 4, you are entering the territory of, "I will never watch this again." Like, there's
Yes, that is
that's
what we
when you
typically refer
start to
to as.
enter it's like, it is bad, and I actually don't want to watch it again, and I think, like, it's just on that barrier. It is like it does have a decision that they make that angers me beyond anything. Like it throws so much of the show's
Mm.
greatness just kind of it's just boom, gone
It
in that
does.
one instant.
It does. But
Um
it's never kept me from revisiting the show, you know? Um, I will likely watch this again. Given the rewatch we've done,
yeah,
it'll probably far it'll
maybe
be
a little
it'll be
bit
far
longer.
longer than a year from now that I rewatch Game of Thrones, but I guarantee you this will not be the last time I watch Game of Thrones,
No.
you know?
No, it will not, and I know that for sure as well. I will come back to it because I will see. TikTok might not be a thing in 10 years, but whatever the equivalent form will be, it'll probably be
Mhm.
hardwired into our brains. But I'll see a Jon Snow edit, and I'll be like, "Oh, well, I'm watching Game of Thrones again." It's that simple. It'll be one thing to get me back in.
And now, I mean,
Um,
like, the way shit has changed so much for the podcast and for us personally since we started this project is kind of absurd to consider. We started this project while Andor was on TV.
oh my god.
Um, that was what was on that we were covering alongside Game of Thrones. Um, we started this a week after season 1 of House of the Dragon ended. We've since um, we were in the midst of our 52-year journey through film. Um,
Oh my
when we
god.
started this,
Oh lord. Yeah, that's some changes. It has been some time.
so beyond the quality of the show itself, I will certainly revisit the show because it will make me nostalgic for this.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I've loved doing Winter is Blooming. I've loved doing the Game of Thrones rewatch
Yeah.
podcast, and there's a really good chance that years down the line, I will watch the show
And
and I will
listen.
listen to our show
Oh,
about it.
fuck. I didn't even realize that I could do this, but I
Yeah.
can. And
One
I'll
day.
realize how I
Uh,
felt at that time, and I'll see, do I still feel the same way or not? Do it
were
Oh,
we
man.
idiots? Was I
Yeah.
stupid? Did I know anything about anything? That sort of
Mhm.
thing. Um,
Will it be a Star Wars effect of once it's just been out for so long that it's like, you know what? Maybe we hate the ending now. We liked it, and then now we're hating it now. But maybe in 10 years we like it again. Who knows? But time will only
I
tell.
doubt.
We have one
Uh,
more. We have one more episode in a 5x5, and that's it. That is like nuts. That's like it's like the. I'm in denial. I'm like Cersei, hardcore right now. I'm like,
no, I
wow,
mean, like,
like
that's what's insane, man, is that, like, and again, that's what makes me go with the 4 here. It doesn't keep me from loving the show, It doesn't keep me it doesn't I'm of the mind that this doesn't ruin the television show, you know what I'm saying? There are people who think season 8 is bad enough that you should just toss the whole fucking thing altogether, and I think that's stupid as hell. The show has been it was the best show ever for several seasons,
mm-hmm.
um, and you can't erase that, no matter how much the ending might sting, I
I'd
think that
say if you are discrediting the entire show for the last couple episodes or season 8 at large, you can say season 8, sure, but I'd say the first 3 are actually kind of good.
I
Um,
would too.
but if you're discrediting the whole show for that, you're kind of doing what Daenerys is doing. You're not just killing Cersei and just taking what is bad out. You're applying it to the whole part. And so you're kind of
Mhm.
becoming the thing you hate that what happened, but or anything. But I guess it's not the decision that she. It's weird. It's a weird bag because it's like it's not the decisions that are made. It's just how they are. Well, Danny's
How they
decision
do it,
does fuck it, but
because, I mean, like, it's insane to consider what season 1 was like.
before they knew,
That's
like,
so
but
long
the
ago.
self-awareness ruined the show. The whenever it got to the point that it got to and they knew that they were the biggest show in the world, it ruined the show. And it could have never could have been the same after that. Like they weren't making the show just to adapt the writing.
Mhm.
They were trying to build the hype even more and go into it. And I think that's the downfall that I see. Um, and also no source material.
Yeah, no source
Um,
material. I mean, like, if George R. R. Martin had done his fucking job, maybe we'd be having a whole different conversation right now.
maybe that's who we should really be mad at. Is yeah. I guess it shouldn't be
Yeah,
rushed.
D&D were just
You know,
D&D were in over their heads.
art
Like,
and
they rushed it
deadlines.
because they didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Yeah. They were just like, well, we have to end it somehow. All these people are working. They don't really want to work on it
Bro,
anymore. Let's
v
just.
D DB Weiss doesn't have another credit. Doesn't have another writing credit. This is all he's ever written. Um, David Benioff, what he wrote before this, like, directly before this, was X-Men Origins Wolverine. So, like, they were dependent upon source material, I tell you.
They're
Um,
giving millions upon millions of dollars to these people. You've done nothing before.
and
You have no
I
credit.
will
You have no
say,
credibility.
and they were incredible at adapting the work that existed. Like, they wrote really good TV based off stuff that they could adapt.
Mm,
Like, they were really
it's
good.
true.
That was like, there
Yeah.
are bad adaptations of stuff, like, of books,
Yeah.
of all sorts of stuff, like,
This is not.
so
Yeah.
this is not, and when the books were being adapted, it was extremely fucking strong. Um, this is just a really good example of what happens when, you get hoisted by your own petard. But, let's
Yeah.
talk about a critical rating. Do you think it's better than our enjoyment rating?
Yes.
I think so too. I think it's similar to last week. I think it's similar to episode 4 in that
Just
everything is good except for the story. Now, the story is worst, but the technical aspects are better. So that ends up, to me,
mm,
kind of evening it out.
okay. I was gonna say this is just middle of the road
I
because
would agree with 5. I would
like
agree with the 5.
5 just flat because of how angry like that one decision is big enough to like weigh it down like
Yes.
enough like her not going for the red keep first will boggle my mind for the end of time. Like I don't know. I don't know. That's kind of the one thing I will never let go of. I've kind of like I've let go of Palpatine returning in Star Wars, in which I thought I would never let go of that.
Right.
But it's like,
No, this is this is
whatever. This
this is
I
unconscionable.
think I
I
will
don't know.
actually never like there's no way I can like I could see another path where I'm like, "Oh yeah, no, this makes sense. I like
No, this is
that."
what you had to do.
Um
No, it isn't.
so
Uh,
I think I do
nah, man.
agree that like critically this episode is made like it looks way better. The like
It's
just
a
it's
brilliant looking episode.
oh my
Miguel
god.
Sapochnik is an incredible director. He had like I believe we're rocking with Fabian Wagner again
Mm,
as the cinematographer, and we gave him a bunch of love for The Long Night a couple weeks ago. Let me double check that just in case I'm mistaken, but I believe we came to the conclusion it was the same guy. Yes, Fabian Wagner. Um,
mhm.
he can
Yeah.
shoot. He can fucking shoot, man.
And
Like this is a good looking episode.
that's the
Um,
tragic part of it for me is that there are so many talented people on this show for it to end this way. Like for all of that work, all of this work that they have spent and like all the talent that was poured into it to like have it just be ruined by the writing room, by like just some little decisions that if other people were in power of the writing, it could have gone completely. I don't know. It's crazy that like just one little change could have been the difference between, I guess, a lot of factors. It's not this one decision. It's the shortened seasons. It is not letting the episodes breathe. It is not making a whole other season that should have happened. It is a lot of things that are coming into effect. The self awareness, the writing, the no source material, a lot of things coming on. But
mhm.
at the end of the day, George R. R. Martin did write that stuff and it was adapted. So like the writing, it is possible. Like you like it's not like it's just D&D aren't those guys. They can adapt well. They can't really create
No, they're not.
well.
No, they're not. Like, and I think this is what makes it clear. You know, they've got a Netflix show coming out soon that I'm sure will be bad.
It's
You know,
weird
um,
that you would assume that like to market a television show, you would want to be able to say from the makers of Game of Thrones. But maybe you don't want to say that, which
that's
is
how they were marketing it.
they're saying from
And
the
people,
makers. Yeah.
it's called Three Body Problem. Um,
Hmm.
oh, it actually started. It actually came out already.
Ah, yes.
According to the release date of this podcast.
Ah, yes.
Um, Yes, March 21st it came out.
Hmm.
The Three Body Problem, sci-fi epic.
Why? Why on my birthday does D&D have to drop again? Why? What?
Yeah,
Why?
yeah.
They no, no.
Ahaha! It's based on a novel. Let's go, baby! It'll
We've
be
won.
good.
We've won.
That rocks. Yep.
Okay. At
Yep, it's
least
based on a novel. They're great at adapting shit. So, you know, like maybe that show will actually be, maybe that show's fucking good. Maybe I don't know. But like there were a lot of people I remember when that trailer released that were like, "Oh, this looks good." And then it said from the creators of Game of Thrones and they were like, "Never mind, not going to fucking touch it." Um,
that's so sad. That's actually
it
so
is.
sad
It
because
is.
if you do that before season 8, it's like, holy shit, this is from the makers of Game of Thrones. You're like, oh, I'm in, like automatically, no
Yeah.
matter what they're making. And then now it's like,
They
ooh,
they were signed on to do a Star Wars movie. Season 8 came out. They were no longer signed on to do a Star Wars movie. Oh, we got a little one.
oh,
We got a little one.
I guess, yeah, a little surprise guest here.
But was that? Are we cool coming to a 5 here?
Mm-hmm. I believe so, and that is a
Mhm.
4.67 on the grand scheme of things. Um,
I'm
so
interested to see if we think the finale's better. I remember some things. I'm not counting on it. Um, I can't imagine I feel much worse at those. So we'll see when we return next week with the finale of Game of Thrones. It won't be the finale of Winter is Blooming, as next week we will do season 8, episode 6, the finale of the show, and conclude Winter is Blooming on Wednesday with our Game of Thrones 5x5, where we will be doing 5 top 5s in one episode. That will consist of top 5 favorite characters, top 5 favorite performances, top 5 favorite episodes or events. I can't remember what we ended up settling on, or both. I can't remember. And then top 5 duos, where we will be pairing off characters and deciding who are our favorite. I got Jon and Tormund on display here. You got Tyrion and Varys. You got Arya and the Hound. You got all sorts of people, all sorts of pairings. Cersei and Qyburn, Daenerys and
Bronn,
Missandei,
Tyrion, Podrick and Brienne.
Yes, exactly.
Some...
Podrick and Tyrion. All sorts of shit. Jaime and Bronn. Like I don't think I'd go with them, but they were a duo at one point.
Yeah.
So like these are the kinds of things that we're bringing to the table. We will have a mathematical conclusion to who were statistically our favorite characters and our favorite performances. However, I'll be interested to see if that aligns with what I personally think. Because episodically versus the entirety of it, who knows? So we got that coming next week. That will be the official conclusion of Winter is Blooming, and we're sticking with the Game of Thrones universe here in a couple months when House of the Dragon comes back. Fire and Blood, Fire and Bloom will be back. And I'm so very excited. Gonna get a rewatch of that in as well. Not gonna do it on the podcast. We're not gonna cover that again. We might do a little preview, like a recap, like
hey, remember that?
How are we feeling heading into season 2? Because I have not watched season 1 since season 1. Since it was on TV. So and now that we've revisited Game of Thrones, I'm interested to see how I'm going to feel fresh off of it. Heading straight into season 2. So I'm excited for that. Maybe we'll do a little, recap, remembering how do we feel compared to how we felt, and so on and so forth. So, but that even so wouldn't be until House of the Dragon season 2 is about to come out, which is at least a month and a half away. So we got that to look forward to. And next Friday we continue our Bad Batch. We continue Bad Batch, season 3, episode
12.
12. Okay. Getting deep. We're almost done. We're only 3 weeks away from finishing that. 1 week away from finishing Thrones. So we're coming to the conclusions here, man. Game of Thrones ending, Bad Batch ending. But luckily we got some big plans coming up. We're going to be covering the John Wick franchise in the weeks following. Super excited for that. We got a lot of movies coming up in May. I'm so very excited for that. Back to movie coverage for May.
Oh yeah.
Nothing but movies in May. We're doing a lot of TV with Thrones and Batch. We're going to do movies May, and then June we're back to House of the Dragon and Acolyte. Some more Game of Thrones and Star Wars come June. So I'm very excited for that. But yeah, with that, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. And remember, peace, love, and bloom. And burn them all.